Through it. Almost done.
Yeah. Hey, how's Sammy doing?
Really good.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Tracy Armstrong, owner operator of North Pittsburgh Greeting Company, the area's premier welcome wagon lady, welcoming all the new homeowners and the new businesses to the ever-growing North Pittsburgh area. And today we are speaking with Dr. Dan Turo, owner of Turo Family Chiropractic, located in the North Hills section of the Pittsburgh area. How are you doing today, Dr. Dan?
I'm doing wonderfully. Thank you so much for having me, as always, Tracy.
Great, and I appreciate you having you being on today. Today, all of us yesterday and today we have what 6, 7, 8, maybe 9 inches of snow on the ground, depending on which section of Pittsburgh you're in. It's absolutely beautiful outside. It's picture perfect. But along with the beautiful snow and whatnot, also comes icy roads and icy sidewalks, and as homeowners, we have to shovel our snows and everything, and sometimes you get a good slip and fall and it can ruin the holiday season for you. So today we're going to talk to Dr. Dan about winter warrior safety. So, Dr. Dan, with all the snow, can you give us some tips on how to stay safe while shoveling?
Absolutely. In fact, we did a quick live on this while my sister and I were shoveling our 300-foot driveway and 10-car parking lot
Goodness
by hand. So, yeah, so it was certainly an exciting morning. It took us about 3 hours, but we certainly want to make sure when you're shoveling, the one thing I always, or a couple things I always talk about is hydration. And that's for just throughout this entire season. In the winter time, in the summer when it's warm, it's humid, it's easy to think like, oh, I need to grab something to drink. But now when it's cold out, it's snowy, people are drinking warm drinks, which tend to be caffeine and sugar heavy. So, and not that I disapprove of those because I'm sitting here drinking my coffee now, but certainly making sure that you're getting enough hydration, and that's before, during, and after, you're doing something highly active like shoveling. So I always recommend, and especially a lot of people waited until this morning, until the snow was finished, to start shoveling, and it was a little bit, moist, especially towards the, the bottom of the pile. So you want to make sure that you're staying hydrated before you get out there, especially if you wake up first thing in the morning. So that's tip number one. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water to warm your muscle tissues, your tendons, your ligaments up. Make sure you're staying hydrated. The other thing is, you don't necessarily think about this, but shoveling is a major workout. So I certainly recommend that you do some sort of warm up, something just where you're going to gradually increase your heart rate rather than just grabbing that shovel and going cold turkey right into it. You want to, maybe do a couple laps, walk around a little bit, just walk out, in your grass where where the snow might be a little bit deeper, just taking a couple big steps and get that heart rate up slowly, so that again, you're warming the muscles up, you're moving your arms, you're moving your legs, and making sure again that your muscles and your system are ready to go for being able to lift and move that snow around. Proper posture is huge whenever you're shoveling. As most people know the old cliche, lift with your legs, not your back. Same thing goes for shoveling. And yet it's so easy to grab that shovel and extend it away from you. And you just have very poor leverage, and it really creates a lot of increased tension on that lower spine. So you really want to make sure you're getting close to that snow, lift it up, and then rather than tossing it, walk it over to where you want and drop it there. So you just have to really be careful and know your limit. If it's a deep snow, get a neighbor to help you. Shovel it halfway through. So there were a lot of people out shoveling yesterday when there was 4 or 5 inches on the ground. So you might have to do it twice because it's not done snowing, but it certainly is going to save you from injuring yourself. Making sure that you have good healthy posture and making sure you're not doing too much to yourself. And then certainly you want to make sure that your position with your feet having good, healthy, good, strong boots on, something with good tread, because you mentioned right before we started talking about the slips and the falls. That is one way to really ruin a holiday and ruin a couple weeks of your, of your downtime, especially over the vacation and the break time. So you want to make sure that you're wearing good, healthy treads as well, so that you're not going to slip and fall. And whether you fall down and land on your rear, hit your knee, hit your elbow, whatever the case may be, you don't want to fracture, sprain, or strain anything, because of something that could have easily been prevented.
Exactly. And I'm sure it's just not outside activities that are causing people's issues this time of year. I'm sure, is there anything else that could cause people injuries during the snow and this cold, blistery weather that they should take a note of?
Well, certainly driving around, and again, I know uh, I know people joke, especially in the north here. I lived down south for a while when I went to school, and if they had a snow, even just a couple inches, and you lived in the south and didn't know how to drive in it, it was just like, just stay off the road, please. But there's people who live up here in Pittsburgh and the whole Northeast, and they just don't necessarily know how to handle a car safely in that type of weather. So if you don't, please stay home. But even if that's not the case, and you can you get into a little bit of a slip and a slide situation where you do end up bumping your vehicle on something, whether it's another car, whether it's a guardrail, a tree. If that's the case, certainly you want to make sure you look into getting yourself checked out, because even if it's a simple slip and slide and something that could have been a minor fender bender and didn't seem like there was any damage, your 150-pound body or 200-pound body in a 6,000-pound car, there's going to be some jolt and some whip throughout your body. So you certainly want to make sure you get that checked out. And most people, if you do have car insurance, like we all should, most people have coverage to be able to get themselves checked out, especially by a chiropractor who's going to be much better at analyzing a spine or a neuromusculoskeletal injury than their primary care, which their tools are, muscle relaxers and painkillers at that point. But that's not getting to the root of the issue.
And do you tend to see more people this time of year due to them hurting themselves outside doing winter tasks?
I wouldn't say any more so than during the summertime. I would say different types of injuries. So again, a mom or dad is carrying their toddler up the hill, and then they're going down, sled riding down the hill. And you hit a bump, and I see that many times, especially with adults. Adults aren't as bouncy and resilient as children are. Our
They are
spines
not.
don't our spines aren't as malleable as the kids. So those little bumps going down a hill can certainly cause a lot of pressure on that lower spine and even all the way up into the neck. So something like a sled riding injury, slipping on the sidewalk. I remember several years ago, I walked out of my house first thing in the morning. I went down my steps, 4 steps down, and it was complete ice, but it was dark outside, and I had no idea. My feet went right out from under me and flat on my back. Again, if that was someone like someone in their 60s, 70s, 80s, I mean, that could have been a life-changing injury. Luckily,
Yes.
I was in shape, and the more in shape that you are, the better you're able to adapt to a situation like that. But certainly those slips and falls are more common than not in the wintertime, and making sure that your body, you have a health professional, especially someone like a chiropractor, who can help you through something like that.
And what can you do to prevent these types of issues from occurring? You did say wear good boots with a good tread on them. Give us some other tips of the trade that people can do to prevent these falls and these injuries during these winter months.
Well, certainly you're never going to prevent it 100%, but it goes back to how healthy and strong and balanced is your system. The better you have to adapt to those situations, the stronger, more balance and more strength and balance that you have in your system. If you take a little slip on a sidewalk, you're much more likely to catch yourself if you have good balance, good stability, rather than someone who has very poor balance. That just little bit of a slip, step off of a curb, piece of an ice. you're much more likely to have that fall if you don't have that strength and balance and stability. So there are balance exercises that you can do. I recommend to people who do have poor balance that they can stand and hold two chairs, or stand next to a railing that they can hold on to, but then work on standing on one foot and just holding that one foot position for a while. Doing something as simple as a body squat, making sure that you can go down, touch your butt to a chair, not sit down in the chair, but touch your butt to a chair and stand back up. Just having a conversation in the office yesterday with a gentleman who had very weak hamstring and glute muscles, and those muscles are strengthened through good, healthy range of motion and squats. So, in fact, one of the best ways to measure how strong you are, the strength of your overall system, and balance and integrity of your overall system is, can you go from a stand to a sit on the floor position and then get back up, and how much support and help do you need? The less support that you need, the stronger and more stable you are. It all goes back to that strength and training your body. You might be training for a sport when you're young, like your kids, Tracy, but as you age into 40s, 50s, 60s, it's more about being able to do daily tasks, and the more
Staying
adaptable you
healthy,
are.
staying healthy,
Exactly.
and keeping up with those kids. And for me, is the welcome wagon lady. I'm in and out of my car, up and down steps. Today I will go welcome people. It is snowy, like you said, I have on the proper shoes, whatnot. But it's very important to be able to have the balance and the safety, because everybody works from home, and some people are in and out of the cars regardless of what the weather is. And it's very important to have that balance, so you're not slipping and falling on other people's driveways or
Yeah.
sidewalks or whatnot.
Yeah.
And it is
And I,
good.
Yeah, well, and I think it's important to recognize, Tracy, that when you are, when you're out and about like that, and you're in a surrounding that might be new, body awareness is absolutely key. Being able to look around and assess, okay, there's a step there, there's a crack there, like, and again, I almost do it. It's second nature to me anymore.
I do.
Yeah, exactly. But
Well,
because
have to slip
I've
one
I've
time
been
and you become aware of your surroundings.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And I always and there's some people that just have it. Some people are kinesthetic learners. They're just more naturally body aware than others. If you
Mhm.
know that you're not, if you are an imbalanced person, or someone who falls, slips all the time, you really should take that time to kind of analyze where you're walking, especially if it's icy out.
Mhm.
I always have noticed that I've had very good body awareness, comes from the background of lifting and making sure your body is in shape. But again, just knowing where the steps are. If you're carrying something up and down the steps and you can't necessarily see, but counting in your mind, it's like, okay, I know, or knowing, where the horizon is, so that you're on back on level ground and you're off the steps, whether you're going up or down. So, that body awareness, some of it just comes naturally based on the type of learner you are, but there are ways that you can help to strengthen that and become more aware of your surroundings.
Well, Dr. Dan Turo, thank you so much. Winter warrior safety, it's very important now more than ever, with everything going on in this world, and the uncertainties in the hospitals. You certainly want to avoid any emergency room visits right now. And gosh
Absolutely.
darn it, if you just don't feel comfortable and you don't think you can handle shoveling the snow, I'm a mom of a 16-year-old boy. Trust me, a lot of kids out there right now are just bored at home, and their mothers will literally shove them out of the house to go get
Yeah,
their kids to shovel somebody else's driveways. Because quite honestly, we're sick of our kids being in the house all the time. So when in
absolutely.
doubt,
Absolutely.
find a teenager who does have balance, who can do it for you.
Exactly. That's exactly right. You can stay inside, stay safe, and you can do your balance exercises in
And
a safe
no,
environment, not testing it in that icy, slippy surface.
Well, Dr. Dan Turo, Turo Family Chiropractic, Winter Warrior Safety. It's always, Dr. Dan, it's always a pleasure to speak with you. You're always full of amazing tips, health tips for everybody out there. Dr. Dan Turo of Turo Family Chiropractic, located in the North Hills. If you would like to make an appointment with Dan or an appointment with his sister, it is a family-run practice, wonderful people. Their website address will be placed in the comments, and they love seeing new clients. They really do. So
Most
this is
definitely.
Tracy Armstrong, owner operator of North Pittsburgh Greeting Company, the area's premier welcome wagon. The key to making the first impression. Thank you.
Thanks, Tracy.